Thanks for your support as a channel member, Mark Warwick. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we all knew this day would come eventually. Today marks the end of our time at Lynn Town. Hello and welcome to part 24 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we are going to be saying goodbye to Kings Lynn. This thing at the top here that I must respond to is a job offer. And it's a significantly better job offer than I think any of us expected. It's a significantly better job offer than I think I had any right to hope for. It's the kind of job offer you can't really turn down. We'll get to that in a little while. Firstly, just as a reminder of my current contract here at Kings Lynn, just so you know what we're competing with this new job offer. So I have a contract that lasts through to the end of this season on £800 a week. It's important that we all remember that as we get on to the job offer part in a little while. But first, it's not right to just leave without saying goodbye. So before we have a look at the offer, and we are going to accept it almost certainly, I need to have a proper look at it. But as soon as it came in and I saw the numbers involved, I didn't really need to look any further. I just hit record. So we are going to have a look through the club, see the state that we're leaving them in. I think I've done a good job here. If you agree that I've done a good job, why not leave a thumbs up on the video? You thought I hadn't asked you today? Come on now. Today, more than any other day, it's important to leave a thumbs up on the video because there's going to be some grumpy people off the back of this decision. There always is when I leave the first club in Non-League to Legend, and you get the people who didn't realise how the save worked, even though I told you at the start. It's always been a going around different clubs save. That's what Non-League to Legend is. Don't worry, I have a one club save starting very soon. Watch this space for that. But that's not what we're here for. We're going to have a look around Kings Lynn, just as part of our saying goodbye. So since you were last with me, we've played a few more games. Form has been generally good apart from this one game away against Sutton. We lost our unbeaten start to the season away against the team who are top of the league. Poor old Alfie Payne scored a goal, but then scored an own goal, and then we were hit with a 91st minute winner by Sutton. It was a little bit hard to take. Alfie Payne, though, scoring an own goal, still getting man of the match, shows just how good he is, and you can guarantee I'm going to be trying my very hardest to bring that young man with me to wherever we end up next. I know, you don't know yet. I know you've skipped ahead, but if you have, just bear with me. Don't skip ahead. I'm telling you a story. I'm painting a picture with words. So this is what the league table looks like. Remember, when I arrived 2.5 seasons ago, we were a club who were expected to finish in mid-table in the division below. We won the league at the first time of asking. We got to the playoffs last year, and we're not going to talk about the route we took to get there. We got to the playoffs. It was the highest league position in the history of the football club, and we're there again this season. 19 games played, nearly the halfway point of the season. We're up in second place, 42 points, 4 points behind Sutton, and I do think we would push on in that second half of the season, and if I were to stay, I think we would get promoted. And we've got the two top scorers in the league, joint top scorers. We finally replaced Adam Marriott with a proper striker. I told you he was when he first arrived, but Joe Hardy has been banging goals in recently, now with 11 goals from 13 starts, 11 from 18 in total, 5 assists, 3 man of the match awards, a 7.36, an absolute bargain of a free transfer signing. And of course, Alex Myton, who was only ever going to be with us for a year anyway, because he's far too good for this level and consistently showing it. 11 goals from 19 appearances, a 7.16 for him. We've also got 2 of the 3 best players in the division for average rating. Alfie Payne, we've already talked about, averaging a 7.79 for the season. 4.5-star current ability as well. He's so much better than anyone else we've got in that position. And if it wasn't for Myton, he would be the best player at the club by a long way. Leading player for most League Two sides. If we can afford him, he's definitely someone who we can bring with us. And I would very much like to. Joe Hardy there is the third best player in the division on 7.36. Payne is up there again, second place for Man of the Match awards. And if we just have a look at the team itself, just to make sure we can see the best of the rest, you can see we've got the 2 decent loanees, but a couple of the youngsters that we brought in on free transfers in the summer are starting to come good as well. Gillingham are after Alfie Payne, so we need to keep an eye on them to make sure they don't get in ahead of my new team. But we've got quite a few players developing into very solid players who are going to be excellent Football League players, but hopefully they end up there next season. If we just sort this by average rating, we know who our stars are: Payne, Doherty, Hardy, Mighton, Hughes. That all seems about right. Top goal scorers: Mighton on 13, Hardy on 11, Simmons with 3, but we know he's a winger really. And then a few others who've weighed in with a few goals here and there. And Hardy not only scoring, getting assists as well. Alfie Payne continues as the assist machine he always has been. Doherty and Davies weighing in for midfield as well, along with Mighton. We have built a very good side here at Kings Lynn. We don't need to talk about what we've done to the club financially, or what the future projections are. That's not my problem anymore. But yeah, I think it's fair to say we've achieved everything we were supposed to achieve, apart from reaching the first round of the FA Cup this season, of course, which the club are going to be very disappointed about. But we've played possession football. We've made the most of set pieces. We've played high tempo. We've not really been attacking this season, but we're winning games. Do we need to be playing attacking football? And we're meeting all the other stuff as well. And I think we were on course. We were going to get to the League Two well before that stage, 4 years in the future. And hopefully whoever takes over from me now, and I am very much going to be putting in a good word for Paul Bastock to get the job. Where is he? He's not even. How is he not even on the favoured personnel? Did I just see I'm on there? Hold on, we'll have a look in a second. Where is he? This is the man who should be taking over from me, because he's been instrumental in it all so far. But I hadn't even noticed that. I'm a club icon. Hold on. No, that's Keith. Who the hell's Keith Chapman? That's my uncle, Kevin Chapman. Now you know I got the job. The secret's out. I'm on the favoured personnel list with Alfie Payne. Little do they know that we're both about to do the dirty on him and join up together again, hopefully at Bristol Rovers, a club we managed last year in non-league to legend. And it didn't go well. It was the one sort of blot on non-league to legends last year, and we're going there with a view to righting a wrong, not wronging a right. But I mentioned the numbers meant I didn't need to look into it in any more detail. I look at the state of these numbers. They're offering me £1,300 a week on a 2-year contract. So a year longer than the contract I've got here at Kings Lynn, plus an extra £500 a week. They're giving me a £1 million wage budget, transfer budget, sorry. £1 million transfer budget. £60,000 a week wage budget, which is 4 times what we've got at Kings Lynn. Did I mention they're in League One? We're leapfrogging over League Two. Bristol Rovers are a League One side, yes, in the relegation zone at the moment, but it's tight down there. A couple of wins, and we're straight away out of that relegation zone and become just a normal League One team again. If we have a look at the expectations at the new club, they want me to sign players under the age of 23 for the first team. Alfie Payne's 22, I checked. 5-year plan is to work within the wage budget, which should be easy enough with a £60,000 a week wage budget, surely. Maximum 1-year contracts for players over the age of 32. I don't plan on signing anyone that kind of age. Minimum 2-year contract for first team players is just normal. Sign players to sell for a profit. I think that's something I can do if I'm paying attention and I'm trying. If I'm actually trying to do that, I can do it. I don't always do it, but I think it's a nice little extra challenge to throw in there as part of the 5-year plan. And their goal for this season is just to avoid relegation, which, bearing in mind it's November and we've got £1 million to spend in January, to be able to avoid relegation when at the moment we're only 2 points away from safety, unless there's something going on here that I just can't wrap my head around. I mean, what's the current form like? Not exceptional, is it? But I don't see how we can mess this up again, like we did last time. So we need to avoid relegation, get to the 3rd round of the FA Cup, get to the 2nd round of the EFL Cup, get to the 2nd round of the EFL Trophy, and then from then on, top half finish next year, top half finish the league the year after, playoffs the year after that. And I mean, they're not massively ambitious long term, are they? But I think we definitely should be able to go in and get the job done that they're asking for this season. So let's start negotiations. I don't want to mess this up because I've kind of built this up as if we're definitely going. I didn't realise we still had things to negotiate. Can I Percentage of club compensation required for managerial. I don't really know what that means. Should I ask for a couple of extra quid? Seems wrong not to ask for a bit of extra money. A little bit extra? No. You know what? I have to do it anyway. How would I not accept that contract? We're going to hit continue. And here we are at Bristol Rovers. Now, this is my first job change in FM20, so I don't quite know the shape of what this looks like. I assume what we get from here is very similar to what we get when you start at a new club, but if there's anything new, I will keep my eye out for it. So in a move which is sure to spark plenty of heated debate, it's like they know what's going to happen in the comments section. Kevin Chapman has left Kings Lynn to join Bristol Rovers. Questions will be raised as to why Chapman made the decision to change jobs. I mean, it's not difficult. Plus 2 leagues. But he will face pressure to bring immediate success to the Memorial Stadium, given his former employers and previous standing. I don't know what that means. That doesn't make much sense. Kings Lynn will now be looking for a new manager, and they've been paid £20,000 in compensation. I wonder if I'm still on the favoured personnel list. In fact, can we look? Can we see? We can't click on them yet. We'll have a look in a minute. I bet I'm gone. Oh, right, get him off there. Chapman, a Vanarama National League Manager of the Year winner last season, brings a blend of experience and proven credentials with him to the new job. I've been a manager for 2 years. Chapman has earned himself a reputation for signing players under the age of 23 and appears to be a great fit for the club's current vision at the Memorial Stadium. That might be why I got such a good job. Chapman lifted the Vanarama National League North with Kings Lynn in 2020. We knew about that. And will now be afforded the chance to enhance his reputation by bringing success to a new club. Chapman's men are on a poor run of 7 league games without a win, and the relegation candidates find themselves in 23rd place in Sky Bet League One. Bristol Rovers have lost 3 of their last 5 games in the league. We've got work to do here, boys and girls. So media prediction before the season started was 17th. We currently have no director of football and no assistant manager, so that's something we're going to need to work on. But, I mean, the only priority is to get ourselves out of the relegation zone, get ourselves out of the mess that we find ourselves in. Looking through this recommended side, they're looking at a 4-3-3. We'll obviously have a little look at that to see if that's what we want to end up doing. There's a couple of names here I recognise, both from Football Manager and from real life. Alfie Kilgore is a player who... Now, did I have him at Bristol Rovers last year in non-league to legend? Or is he somebody that I've signed for other clubs? The LOLLUJO historians will let me know down in the comments why I know Alfie Kilgore. Mark Little, I know from the fact that he used to play for Posh in real life. 33 years old now, though, so don't. I mean, I remember him as a flying, pacey, overlapping wing-back. I don't know if he's still going to do that at age 33. And I guess there's probably a couple of others in here, or I probably should remember from Bristol Rovers last year. But you all know by now that my memory of players particularly is pretty poor. This guy looks old. Ollie Clark. He's not that old. In real life, he's like 26. Sorry, Ollie. But this guy, I feel like I know him. I feel like we go back a long way. Oh, dang, I need a spade. Poor old Ollie Clark. Already making friends at my new club. So this is just confirmation of what we already knew, the stuff we just talked through. Yes, I need a press conference to meet the media. Yes, I want to meet my backroom staff. Let's confirm all that and let's have a little look around the new club. So I'm not going to go into too much depth on all this stuff today, because obviously we'll do a Club 2 episode 1 tomorrow with our first games and a proper look at tactics and stuff. But there's a few things that are always worth checking out. So we're over our wage budget, which is not ideal. That needs fixing. It looks like, although we've got £1 million to spend, realistically, once we've fixed the wage budget and given ourselves some money to bring in a new player or two, we're actually probably looking at 500,000 or 600,000, which should still be enough to get Alfie paid. We'll go and scout him immediately in a second. There's money in the bank though, and that is always important. If we have a look at the players that we've got, sort them by ability to see who our best players are. So Jose Garcia is a 24-year-old Spanish attacking midfielder who can play anywhere across the attacking midfield 3. Looks like he's primarily a left winger. In fact, he can play just as well on either wing, not so much in behind the front 2. But they paid money for him this summer, bought him from Championship Millwall. Where did Bristol Rovers finish last year? If they've spent money in the summer and they've got money to throw around still now, but we're just lower half of the table League One side. Where is the money coming from? Have we sold a player? That's where the money's coming from. We've sold a player in the summer for £4.6 million. Luke Noble has gone to Aston Villa for £4.6 million. So that seems to be, well, why it's gone wrong a little bit this season. For it to be a centre-back who played 35 games last year and was sold to a Premier League club for over £4 million. There's obviously a bit of a gap there, and Garcia was the only player who was brought in to replace him. Luca Ercolani's here. Nuneaton legend Luca Ercolani. Or was he home? Where did we have Luca Ercolani? I think he was Nuneaton a few years ago. So there you go. There's his immediate replacement at centre-back. We also sold this guy, Tarek Holmes-Dennis, has gone to Wigan in the Championship. So a little bit of business in and out over the last couple of seasons. I mean, everything up until that point has been free transfers. So they're new money, Bristol Rovers, and it doesn't look like I'm going to get a budget again after this one unless I sell. So we need to make sure we don't mess up with this budget that we've got, because we might never get another good budget again. Jerome Sinclair is another player who is a veteran of the channel, but oh my word, a striker who's now started 16 games and not scored a goal yet. Oh, Jerome. Oh, poor old Jerome. What position have you been? Have you been playing up front and just not scoring? Oh, Jerome. Oh, we're going to drop you now. I hope that's okay. But you can't not score goals for that amount of time. That's just silly. Let's get back on here where we were before. So at least the transfer business in the summer made sense. They brought in a player and he's coming as the best player at the club. Ollie Clark and Alfie Kilgore as a defensive midfielder and a centre-back, both very good as well. Kilgore, I'm surprised there's not more interest in him with his centre-back partner from last year off to the Premier League. And then beyond them, there's a decent squad of players. I don't know that we've got massive strength in depth. Let's have a little look at the squad. But obviously, I don't know what tactic I'm going to be playing yet. So if we just stick all positions on here and get an idea of where we're good. So our other striker, Gavin Riley, has also not scored a goal this season and only got 2 last year. So of the only 2 strikers at the club who are any good, neither of them have scored a goal yet. I'm not a scientist, but I think I may have already diagnosed where our problems are. We don't have any goals in this team. Defensively, not too bad. We've got 3-star players. We can do a 3-star plus back 4 and goalkeeper. We can do a half-decent midfield. We've got decent wide players, a decent attacking midfielder. How are we not scoring goals? Let's just go back to that schedule again. I want to go on to League One and just... Can we have the detailed table? How do we do that? It's this one, isn't it? So, goals for... Where are we? We've only scored 16 goals in 20 games all season. Wow. That's not very good, is it? My word. Okay. And then the last thing we need to do is Alfie Payne. Hopefully he's not distraught that I've left him behind. We're going to scout him. We definitely want to bring him in. Let's just see. Matt Harrold has taken over as assistant. Matt Harrold, who he was the under-18s assistant manager. He was actually studying for the Continental A licence with me. We both got the go-ahead to go on that course on the same day, funded by Kings Lynn. So he's jumped all the way up to be caretaker manager. I could live with him taking over as manager. I think he'd do an excellent job. But am I still on the favoured personnel list? That's what we all want to know. I am. Hooray! Hopefully they do all right. I want to see them get promoted still this season. But Alfie Payne, I do want to just steal away from them. So hopefully we'll have some progress on that for tomorrow's video. So our first match is going to be against Hull. I've got 5 days to figure out a tactic and who is going to be a part of it. And then we'll have Hull and Luton tomorrow. And then we need to start planning for this transfer window. This transfer window is going to be massive. For a club in the trouble that Bristol Rovers are in, it kind of is the perfect time to come in and take over. Mid-November gives me 6 weeks to get a feel for the team, get an idea of how we're going to play, get an idea of where our weaknesses are, and identify who we're going to bring in, and then hopefully storm that second half of the season and force our way up to mid-table. That's the plan. Of course, I could just be sacked by Easter. It's going to be an interesting ride. If you've enjoyed that, or if you've just enjoyed my time at Kings Lynn, that's surely worth a thumbs up. So please make sure you do leave a nice big thumbs up on this video for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. We begin our Bristol Rovers adventure tomorrow. And like I say, for those of you who are absolutely gagging for a one-club save, Monday. Just keep an eye on the channel soon, Monday. Because there's going to be a new series. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you should, because there's lots of spoilers on there for what that series is going to be. And thank you very much for watching.